Hello everyone and welcome back to Roscale Sandbox. Today is the final day of the military base. I am so excited to wrap this thing up. And of course today we are going to be building a plane. Now the plane I've picked to build is called the Eurofighter Typhoon. It's a very cool plane. It's used in the British RAF currently, so I thought let's do that. And as always, I'm going to build it out here, scale it down, and then plop it around the military base. Now, the first thing I've noticed is this thing has a very cone-like nose, and the one thing we can't build in Roscale Sandbox is cones. So let me see what I can come up with for the front of this plane. I have to say, I have made what is sort of a cone, and I am pretty proud of that. That is pretty cone-shaped, if I may say so myself. So, next we've got to add the body, and I'm going to do this using various cylinders and blocks just to sort of get a general shape, and then we can always put on details a little bit later. So, I have got the general idea outline of the plane here. It still looks a little bit like a pencil. Hopefully we can fix that. But I think what will really help is adding in the cockpit. So yeah, let's go and do that now. And again, the cockpit is a little bit of a weird shape. So I'm going to do my best to try and come up with something that is going to make this plane look really, really cool. And here we are. So I've got a front of the cockpit, which I'm sort of happy with. It's a little bit triangular, but I think this really depends on how the rear half of the cockpit goes. So I'm going to go and make that now. And hopefully this doesn't turn out looking like one big sort of triangular box on the front of this plane. And you know what? That's actually not too bad, especially from the side. I'm quite happy with how it looks. From the front, it's a little bit weird. But I think, you know, from the side it does look really cool, and you know what, I think we can just get used to it. I'm kind of happy with how it is. It's taken me so long to get to this point, so yeah. Now, the first thing I want to do is color this in a nice glass texture. And you know what, now that is glass, it's actually not looking too bad at all. You can actually kind of see how this is going to come together and look like a really cool plane. So now what I need to do is actually extend the plane out back a little bit, just because of the way the cockpit and the nose are looking. The plane's actually a little bit too small now. So I'm going to go and make this whole thing quite a bit bigger. And yeah, that structure is looking a lot better and a lot more in proportion than it previously was. All right, so now the basic stuff is done. I am going to go through and add in a whole load of detail and really start to spice up this plane, making it look good. And yeah, that's looking rather nice. Now, I know it's obviously not finished yet, so we need to start getting a bit of color into this because, you know, jets are not made out of concrete. So let's try and spice this up a little bit. Yeah, and instantly that is looking super, super cool. This is a really mean looking plane, and I am very excited to have this finished because this is looking so epic. So one of the final things I want to do is add a whole load of details to this. And I just mean little hatches, little squares, some lines, just all little details to really bring this plane alive and make it look not so boring and not so plain. So let me go and do that now. And there we go. I have no idea why a couple of little lines and squares for details make this plane look so cool, but they really do. Now, unfortunately, the only thing that doesn't really look good about this plane is this nose cone here. And that is because we just don't have cone pieces in the game. You know, if there was a piece, I would totally use it. And devs, if you're listening, it would be amazing if you could add a cone piece because we just don't have one and we really can't make anything like it. But other than that, I am super, super happy with this plane. Okay, so the final thing left to do is to now group this and scale it down to the right size so we are able to place this around the military base. Now, I think we should have one plane sort of coming out of the hangar like this, another plane next to the runway, sort of taxiing and getting ready, and then I think it would be so cool if we had a third plane sort of in this takeoff position, like it had just come off the runway and was flying off somewhere. This looks so, so, so cool. Well, there we go. The military base is done. That has been such a fun episode. We built this incredible plane, which I think has really, really finished off the military base and brought the whole thing together. So I am super, super happy. We can finally move on. In the next episode, we are going to be doing some new things, probably extending the railway, adding some cool scenery, some countryside, all that kind of stuff. But in the meantime, if you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to leave a like, make sure to subscribe, and I will see you again very, very soon. Goodbye.